Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to another episode of the GSMC Wrestling Laureate podcast brought to you by the GSMC Sports Network. I'm your favorite wrestling fan here, Eric Rodriguez, every Monday night live on the GSMC Sports Network, 8 p.m. Pacific Time, 11 p.m. Eastern Time. So make sure you guys Superman punch that like and subscribe button so you guys can get notifications when I go live. Also upload some awesome professional wrestling content. Hope you guys are having an amazing week. Hope you guys are gearing up for a fun, safe, fun-loving weekend with you and your family. You deserve it, you hard worker. You know, if you're a professional wrestling fan like I am, you know, all of us, blue-collar workers out there. I'm just kidding. No, I'm not trying to, no dichotomous nature here. You know, white-collar, blue-collar, doesn't matter. Wrestling fans are family. Absolutely, it's, we are one awesome sports fandom. And yes, wrestling is a sport. People, I'm just kidding. No, well, yeah, it is. But not passing judgments or anything like that. Professional wrestling has been part of my life for like ever. And once when you see a professional wrestling fan walking down the street or somebody wearing a wrestling shirt, I often kind of talk about this on the podcast. Is one time, I'll keep it brief, but I have a story. One time I went to Disneyland, obviously with me and family and the kids and stuff like that. And, there was this line. It was about an hour and a half wait, and I was like, damn, like, how am I going to survive this? My kids, they have their little, tablets where they play like ABC Mouse or like Tokabook or something like that. So like, and then I'm talking to my wife, and my wife's talking to my mother-in-law, and then they're talking, and I'm just kind of there, like looking around, like, and I'm not a huge guy that scrolls on like Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, or Twitter or anything like that. I'm not really that type of guy. Like, I get bored super easily, So then I see this guy with like a Seth freaking Rollins shirt, and then he's like right here, like arm's length away, and I was like, hey man, how's it going? And then immediately there was a chemistry established, and we were just talking wrestling stuff, or we were just kicking the stuff, shooting the crap. And, we were talking professional wrestling for about an hour, and it was, it was actually too short of a time. No, but it was actually super cool, once again, kind of explaining why wrestling fans are, we're absolutely 1,010% unique. Well, thank you guys so much for tuning in to the GSMC Wrestling Laureate podcast. We have a great show for you today, all lined up. Today, we are actually going to talk about AEW Dynamite. Gonna give you my review. Then we're gonna talk AEW Revolution happening on Sunday. In at the Crypto.com Arena in Los Angeles, California, the City of Angels. We're going to find out how, I love Tony Khan's AEW PLEs, so there's no doubt in my mind this one's going to be absolutely amazing. And it's streaming on Prime Video for the first time ever. So, I don't know if there's going to be a deal or anything like that. Like, once when I saw not the commercial, but I saw the promo that they were going to be streaming on Prime Video, I had my subscription, and I was like, yes, like, that's cool. I don't have to, like, pay an extra $50. But, yeah, you're going to have to, I think. You're going to have to anyways. But it's worth it. At the end of the day, it's worth it. It's going toward a good cause. I love professional wrestling. I want to personally see Mercedes Mone lose her TBS championship. I'm just kidding, no. Yeah, no, it should be a good one. We're going to talk about AEW Revolution on our second segment. Third segment, we're going to talk about the WWE Women's Mid-Card titles might be in trouble. We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about Becky Lynch's WrestleMania return. We're also I'm going to give you guys my top 10 greatest female wrestlers of all time. Recently, I looked at I came across a Sports Illustrated top 5 or top 10 women of all time. For the most part, the women that were involved in it, it was good, but just I feel like the way they had them, I disagreed upon. So I'm going to go through my top 10, obviously, in terms of talking list. Like Sports Illustrated, it's, there comes a little bit of a bias. There comes a little bit of a, maybe the person wrote it, grew up during the Divas era, grew up during the Attitude Era, and you always kind of had that special bond, that special connection with, with the WWE Women's wrestler and you're like, man, if she wasn't there, the whole company would have went under. So, I'm going to give you guys my top 10 women of all time in terms of the world of professional wrestling. So let's go on and dig on into it. But before we get on into any of that, just want to remind you guys to go ahead and hit up that tips and donations link. Also hit up that super chat. Remember, during live shows, you have the power to chat. You have the power to change the complexion of the show by just hitting up that super chat, by just commenting, whether if you have a burning question or a hot take in terms of the world of professional wrestling here at the GSMC Sports Network. We are all ears 1,010%. We want to make sure you guys are keeping up with the show, keeping the conversation lively, making sure you guys feel like you are part of the mix 1,010%. So don't be shy to drop your thoughts inside that chat. Or whenever we publish a video, make sure you guys like, subscribe, share it to your favorite wrestling friend. Also, make sure you guys leave a comment. Leave a comment. Tell me if you like it. Tell me if you don't like it. Just remember at the GSMC Sports Network, we do love a lot of peace, love, and positivity. So keep it absolutely 1,010% respectful. But we get it. We get it. Sports, there's going to be disagreements. There's going to be some criticisms, and it's all good. It's all gravy. It's all water under the bridge already. So don't be shy to drop your thoughts inside that chat. We are super grateful for each and every one of you guys who check out our shows daily on the network. So you guys make all the difference. So let's keep the conversation going. Let's get this party started. Make sure you guys, tune into the live streams. Make sure you guys, like and subscribe to the show so you guys could definitely participate in the super chats. Also hit up that tips and donations link to, talk professional wrestling. In this case, we also have a lot of all around sports shows like hockey, baseball, football, basketball, all that jazz. We talk all things sports on this network, so make sure you guys, like and subscribe. All right, without further ado, we're going to talk about AEW Dynamite. Live in, Sacramento, California. Obviously, they are, around the Sacramento, California, and then, the Los Angeles area. Well, not the Los Angeles area, because Sacramento and Los Angeles, I believe, 10 hours away? I believe, you just kind of shoot down the 5. Is it the 5 or is it the 101? I think it's the 5. Or you go down the 98, heading toward Fresno. I'm not too sure. But, all in all, they're on their way over to Los Angeles. Right now, they are on their way to my backyard. There's actually a show in Oceanside that, that's going to happen. That I wanted to go to so bad. That I want to. But, unfortunately, I have to work on Wednesdays. And it just, oh, God. Of course, I can't watch Dynamite. But I can't watch Dynamite live, but I can always watch it, on TV. So, which is all cool. It's something I've kind of figured out about myself. I'm like, what? Once when you're kind of young, you're into like going to concerts and, sports events and stuff like that. For me, watching it on TV in the comfort of my own chair, with a nice ice cold, root beer, it's always fun. It's always great. It's always, kind of, and then you have the kids right there. You have the wife. And, you're just kind of in your own domain. Maybe I'm just getting old. Maybe I'm just getting old and cranky at 32 years old. Who knows? So, MJF starts off the night basically talking about how he disagrees about people's notion of how Hangman Adam Page, he didn't do anything wrong. And then that, MJF, he speaks facts. You had that match between Christopher Daniels and Hangman. And, Hangman burning Swerve Strickland's house. And then, beating up legends backstage, causing a ruckus all over the place. Like, he literally kind of threw a tantrum. So MJF, he kind of, it's kind of right. It is kind of right the way he, the way he ultimately kind of phrased it. And then of course, you had, he was basically talking about, he was outside, and then he was in Sacramento, and he had a bullet with his name on it, which is cool. I like it, but it is what it is. MJF screams at Hangman Adam Page over and over. So yeah, he basically wants to get crazy with Hangman. It's going to be a great feud. It's going to be an absolutely great feud, 1,010%. I, for one, can't wait to see these two guys go at it. The top products of AEW ever since they started back in 2019. So, you're basically going to get the foundation. You're going to get a lot of what eat, sleep, and breathe AEW with this feud, and I hope it lasts till AEW All In. But that is a huge ask. That is like 3 months, like 4 months away. July. So But it could if anybody could do it, these guys can definitely do it. I would love to see like a cage match between these guys at the end of the day, because quite frankly, I don't really see these guys going after the AEW World Heavyweight Championship, which would probably be a next step for both of them. But I don't really see that happen. Tony Schiavone in the stage. Obviously, you had this confrontation. I think it was a contract signing between Swerve Strickland and Ricochet, basically fighting for Prince Nana and that robe. But something that bothered me, being honest, I wasn't a huge fan of the way Ricochet looked. I get the snooty, the cocky, the arrogant, the bratty, backwards hat, Philadelphia Eagles hat, by the way. But I don't know, just the way Ricochet was, and then the freaking Swerve once again. He grabs the pen and he's like, "Oh my God, will you just shut up? You're so annoying." Like, for me, I felt that was kind of like I kind of outed Ricochet there, and it was exactly what it was supposed to be. A contract signing that was supposed to blow up. Ricochet, pulls out the golden scissors. Swerve Strickland grabs his own pair of shears, and sticks it in the forehead of Ricochet. So, all in all, like I said, it was exactly what it was meant to be. We're going to get this match, and it's going to be absolutely it's going to be a good one. It's going to be a good one. And the winner of this match is the number one contender for the AEW World Heavyweight Championship. So yeah, it's destined to be a good one. Next, we have Will Ospreay teaming up with Orange Cassidy, Powerhouse Hobbs, and Mark Briscoe, taking on Lance Archer, Brian Cage, Mark Davis, and the Bad Apple, Brian Keith. I definitely liked how there was some F Don Callis chants all around Sacramento. I thought that was pretty cool. The match was great. All in all, the match was super great. I loved the fact how, although Ospreay, and his team did pick up the victory, I loved how the Don Callis family gets the last laugh. You kind of had Mark Davis have a little bit of a, controversy, conflict of character, how, the world powers or whatever like that, when he was in a stable with Will Ospreay, he was refusing to hit him with that chair. But, I got to be honest, I do love Orange Cassidy's, whole persona. Like that elbow drop, how he dropped it on him, he was like that. That was pretty cool. That was pretty cool. Definitely hope to see him in the AEW International Championship or the Continental Championship conversation within the next couple of months. So, should be pretty cool. I definitely loved how, like I said, Mark Davis seeming like he's going to, he might get a second win. He might redeem himself. But right now, Don Callis is doing exactly what he needs to do. Lance Archer is, Brian Cage. They're the bad guys. Konosuke Takeshita defending his AEW International Championship at Revolution against Kenny Omega. So you had to build up as much momentum as you possibly could. But it was a great match. I love how AEW explores with these 8-man tag matches. Even on Ring of Honor, you have the 8-man. Sometimes you have a 10-man tag team match. I think last week they had a 12-man tag team match, which was pretty badass. But Kyle Fletcher, like I said, getting the last laugh from the Don Callis family as well with the steel cage match coming up against Will Ospreay, the aerial assassin, at Revolution in Los Angeles. So can't wait to see that go on. All right, next we have Cope taking on Wheeler Yuta. I thought this was it was a good match. It was a great match. I, for one, I definitely liked after the match, when Cope hit that, hit the spear, and then he looked Wheeler Yuta dead in the eye and he gave him a handshake, saying that this is what respect looks like, and then gave Wheeler a lot of things to think about. Something that I highly contemplate every single time I see the Death Riders. It's Claudio, Pac, and Shafir already are really invested in to what Jon Moxley basically does, what he hopes to accomplish with everything that he's doing every single day in and day out, Rampage, Collision, or Dynamite. But Yuta, he seems a little skeptical about it. Seems like he is always the whipping boy. I remember once when I think it was Orange Cassidy, I think it was, who came in and saved Wheeler Yuta from them shoving the chemicals down his throat. Was that the chemicals, or was it the? No, I think it was. And Wheeler, he hasn't gotten a lot of respect. He turned his back on Bryan Danielson. That's kind of how he got into the group. But ever since then, It's been, hasn't been good for Wheeler. Wheeler Yuta. But then again, Jon Moxley backstage screams, he's yelling. He's boasting. He's basically congratulating Adam Copeland for, he got exactly what he wanted right now. And you have Jon Moxley all alone. It's going to be mano y mano. But, there's always that skepticism that maybe him and Wheeler Yuta were kind of having like a little, acting show or whatever it is. Moxley has held the AEW World Heavyweight Championship for quite some time. So, I don't know if a title change is due, but I feel like Wheeler Yuta will ultimately be the remaining factor. And I feel like it will get to a point between, and I'll get into this with my AEW Revolution picks and predictions. I feel like there's going to be a spot where he can either help Cope or he could help Jon Moxley, and I feel like ultimately he's going to help Jon Moxley, because I don't really see Jon Moxley losing the championship as of right now. This Death Rider, this Death Rider storyline has been pretty damn good, so I don't know. It should be pretty interesting. Should be pretty interesting. Next, we have a TV segment. Renee Paquette talking to MJF. Hangman Adam Page wants to run him over, and basically that is that. But then they make it out to the ring. They start beating the holy hell out of each other. AEW security comes out. They take down Hangman. They take down MJF. MJF comes with the Dynamite ring, punches Hangman Adam Page square in the middle of the forehead, knocks him out. And then, MJF starts pouring lighter fluid, saying that, he's going to light him on fire like he lit Swerve Strickland's house on fire. And then I love the fact that MJF was wearing MJF did nothing wrong shirt. I thought that was pretty funny. Kind of reminded me of when Kevin Owens wore, what did he wear? What was his shirt? Kevin Owens is right? or something like that? I think, yeah, Kevin was right or something like that. Once when he was having his little thing with the American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes. So I thought that was actually kind of funny. MJF was, he was pulled, kicking and screaming out of the arena, and it was just kind of funny. I like how he was basically saying how everyone is a hypocrite and he has a point to prove. Let me prove my point. It was so MJF. It was absolutely so MJF, 1,010%. So yeah, it was pretty cool. All right, next we have Kris Statlander and Thunder Rosa taking on Megan Bayne and Penelope Ford. Once again, I think this was the only women's match on there. I was shocked, but then again, I was kind of relieved. It was a nice 10-minute match between the, four top-tier talents within AEW. Obviously, Kris and, Thunder Rosa kind of like in the middle of it, they're at their prime, kind of, dipping down a little bit. But you have Megan Bayne and Penelope Ford as well. But there's been some rumors surrounding Penelope Ford saying that she won't be with the company at the end of 2025. Either she's digging for a new contract, or that she wants to go somewhere else where maybe the women's division is a little bit more prominent. I feel like it is a lot maybe on Collision. I feel like it is. But Dynamite, it does do its due diligence in terms of Mercedes Mone promo here, and you have Harley Cameron, and then backstage with Renee Paquette talking to Toni Storm, Mariah May. So the women's division is it's not that it's absolutely terrible, 1,010%, but it could be better. Maybe that's the best thing. It could be better. So then Renee Paquette was backstage with, speaking of, 4 Belt Mone, the CEO, basically saying how she's going to fight Momo Watanabe. She's going to, defend her TBS championship. She seems a little, obviously New Japan Professional Wrestling, but I feel like, God, I know she's going to retain. Mercedes Mone says Serena Deeb, is a woman of 1,000 holds, but, she will break Momo for her. And, and then once again, say Monet changes everything, Then we had a best wrestler alive, Max Craster, being confronted by Switchblade Jay White, getting hit with, what is it called again? Oh, what is his finishing move? Oh my God, I can't believe I can't think of it. Blade Runner? I think it was Blade Runner. Blade Runner. Okay, so, I got that right. So I thought that, I love Switchblade Jay White. And even when then he went on and talked about how Adam Copeland's going to take back the AEW World Championship for everybody in the locker room. So that was cool. Main event time, we have Ricochet and the AEW Continental Champion Kazuchika Okada taking on Swerve Strickland and Brody King. At the end, I like this match. This match was it was decent. It was super decent. But these two guys, Okada and Ricochet, it's to the point where these guys need every little flow of momentum, because let's just face it, like I said, Ricochet, the promo, this contract signing he did earlier, and the way he's been perceived in AEW just seems like a bratty kid walking around with the backwards hat. And I love Ricochet. When he was in WWE, I was like, man, he deserves so much better. But now he comes to AEW, and I had high hopes. But I don't know if the booking, the storylines, it's a little lackluster. But he deserves something. He deserves to be something. And right now you kind of have, and it's kind of ironic that his partner Kazuchika Okada, in my opinion, is kind of stuck in the same boat. Ever since he made it to AEW, he hasn't really had that same shine that he had when he was wrestling in Japan. Now he has that. Now he has his a catchphrase. He says the B word all the time. You what I mean? Like, is that really all he's good for? And then whenever he goes into a match, something that I've kind of noticed about Okada, maybe it's just me, that it doesn't really seem like he is like he's willing to go the extra mile to produce a move that might chance him getting hurt, I guess you can say. It's just standard matches. Okada, it seems like AEW brought in Okada to be like, oh, we're going to have him just take on, because the only guy that's really, really good with Kazuchika Okada, well, there's multiple. Two, obviously, Will Ospreay, and of course Kenny Omega. I feel like Kenny Omega, although he is challenging Konosuke Takeshita for that AEW International Championship at Revolution, maybe dethrones Okada. But for me, I would like to see Ricochet, get that Continental Championship. He turned heel, which kind of a shocker, and he hasn't shown any interest or any hints at being part of the Hurt Syndicate. But at this point, I feel like, either he joins or he doesn't. But I know Cedric Alexander has recently been released from WWE. And I bet MVP, Shelton Benjamin, and Bobby Lashley are, pushing hard for a nice little, Hurt Business reunion. Which I wouldn't be against. But you kind of have to have Ricochet somewhere. You kind of do. Like I said, if Ricochet wants to continue being a heel, being a single hard ass, Swerve Strickland did bring up his wife Samantha, which was kind of crazy. But maybe she comes and she becomes a manager for Ricochet, and he gets better. He's like that, that heel that has his girlfriend cheat for him, and not cheat for him, like not that way, but like she gets involved in his match. You know what I mean. I'm just kidding. Moving on. So Dynamite, pretty good. Obviously, this was the go home. This was the go home episode before Revolution. So it did its purpose. And now we're gonna talk about some AEW Revolution, some picks, previews, preview and predictions, however you want to call it. So grab your favorite snack, grab your favorite ice cold beverage, and join me here in about 25 seconds. So hey, do not go anywhere.